So it finished. Liverpool 3, Wolves 1. Man City crowned champions after a great comeback against Aston Villa. But obviously this is a Wolves video about Wolves. I thought we played really well today. We definitely made it very hard for Liverpool. And they've been accused of being on the beach. And I think they were really up for it today. They were really wanting to make a good account of themselves. They knew the world would be watching, I guess, because of what was at stake. And I thought it was brilliant. The way we set up, we know, don't we, what we're going to do with the free midfield. Soak it up, try and hit them on the counter-attack. Early goal, great ball, big long ball downfield. Poor defending from Liverpool. They struggled at the back today, didn't they, without Van Dijk in there. But a great assist from Raul and a great finish from Pedro Neto, who unfortunately did go off injured not long after. And it's got to be said, when that man Hwang Hee-chan come on, he was awful, to put it lightly. He could have had a hat-trick if he'd have had his head screwed on. He had that chance straight away where he got saved. He had a few chances second half, definitely, where he made the wrong decisions or just... I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. Yeah, not the best from Hwang Hee-chan. Very, very poor. We might have had a better chance of getting a second if Neto would have stayed on the pitch and stayed fit. But Liverpool, as you can imagine, they come back at us. The goal they scored, the first one, it was Mane, wasn't it? Poor defending from Wolves, easily ripped open again down Bolly's side again, a bit like we did multiple times against Norwich. And a bit of a weird finish where he hit it into the floor. So Sarr was probably took by surprise by that because he probably should have saved it really, being at his near post side. But 1-1, and then we battled really well. And as I mentioned, we had so many more chances to actually go 2-1 up. Villa going 2-0 up made the ground all buzzing. So Liverpool were going for it, left loads of gaps at the back for us to exploit. And yeah, I thought we did well. It's just obviously a story of our season, can't finish, innit? Pretty much our season in a nutshell, really. But I thought the lads did well. Cody putting his body on the line a lot, and obviously being a Liverpool fan growing up, it must be a strange game for him. I thought Totti Gomez did really well at the back as well. Did get cramped towards the end, but he's good. Totti Gomez, I like him. For 8-0, he had a really good game for us. Looked really positive going forward and defensively. Midfield, okay. Dendoncker probably should have scored too. But yeah, overall, I think I was quite happy with the performance apart from the finishing. And commiserations to Liverpool, I guess. I know a lot of Wolves fans hate Liverpool, don't they? I'm not one of them, really. I don't mind Liverpool. It's a great city. But congratulations to Man City. I think overall they deserve it after what we've seen. Apart from obviously we did well against them at the Etihad, but they absolutely battered us at Molineux. And I think City are the better team, to be honest. I know Liverpool have won 2 cups and are going to probably win the Champions League if you'd believe the odds. But I think City deserve it, so well done to them. Bit of drama. I see Leeds stayed up as well for a bit more drama elsewhere. Jesse Marsh, Ted Lasso buzzing. But Wolves, season comes to an end. I'm happy. Obviously been a terrible ending to the season from us, but a top 10 finish you would have took at the beginning of the season. So things to improve on. Overhaul to come. A lot of players going to be leaving. And let's hope we can get it right. And if it is Bruno Lage, he's got a big job to do. Thank you, Talking Wolves, for having me on this season. It's been a pleasure. I've just got to say, Matt, Dave, best Wolves channel out there, obviously. I think everyone can agree with that. The work the lads put in, everything from thumbnails, videos, the grind Dave puts in on Twitter. So yeah, lads, it's top notch. Keep it up. I'm going to stop sucking you off now, and I'll catch you all next season. And have a good off-season, Wolves fans. Does that make sense? And let's hope we get the summer right. Cheers, lads. Yeah, cheers. See you in a bit.
At least we've kept up the theme of losing, on the final day of the season ever since we've got back to promoted. I know they're against big teams, but, it's still an unwanted record at the end of the day. And, it's just, you kind of expected that, to be honest with you. You expected a result like that to happen. Final score, Liverpool 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. We start off with pretty much the team. I thought the team was okay. I was happy with it. There wasn't really any negatives. I thought the 5-2-3 at the game at Molineux, I thought we done quite well, especially when we went back to that system. It was just one slip-up, really, that cost us in that game. And it was just good to see Pedro Neto start up at front as well. I've come into the game thinking, if we get a shot on target, then that's a result, really. And we've somehow gone 1-0 up. I'll tell you what, the Kings Lynn Liverpool fans, I bet they were absolutely delighted at that moment, but we were just laughing. It was like, how the hell are we 1-0 up? But we really played well, which was quite surprising. Long ball over from Sarr. Jimenez, who I actually thought put in one of his better performances this season. Brilliant ball towards Neto, puts it in the back of the net. And for about 20 minutes, it was just really, really enjoyable in that first half. And then he comes off injured again. Nuno ruined him as a footballer. Should never have played him when he first originally had that knee injury. And now it's just aggravated to be worse. And he's going to have nothing short of knee problems for the rest of his career. It is a shame. But unfortunately, Pedro Neto can't seem to stay fit at the moment. It's been more of a disappointing season for him than positive from what everyone was saying at the start of this season. Liverpool were knocking on the front door. It was a case of not if they score, it was a case of when. And, unbelievable ball from Thiago. And they just put the ball in the back of the net. And then, just as soon as we brought Roddy on, it was a head-in-hands moment. Just, oh no, John's going to be in goal. And to be fair, I don't actually remember him. I only remember him making 2 saves, if that really. We were still creating the majority of the opportunities. The problem is the opportunities were had by Wang. And out of all of the Fosun signings, Paul Gladden included, Wang Hee-chan is one of the worst players that we have bought under this current ownership. He can't do anything. That one opportunity that he had in the second half where Jimenez has laid it through towards him, and you're thinking, you've got to hit the back of the net. You've got to at least make contact with the ball. But he's so slow in reacting to the fact of that. He's that slow. He couldn't even keep the ball in play. Every time it went to him, he just looked like kept giving it away. He's shown nothing to me that suggests he's going to get better as a footballer. And we've got him for we're paying £13 million for someone who we know isn't very good. I just do not get that business at all. And just as soon as Mohamed Salah got the goal, that was it. Yeah, just game over, really. But we played our role today. We were meant to be the villains. We were, meant to keep the Liverpool just unhappy. And we did just that, to be honest with you. I think the big result was, faking that there'd been a goal for Aston Villa when Man City made it 3-2. That was quite funny. But, yeah, just, in terms of the reflection of the whole season, if you look at the first half of the season, absolutely brilliant. The first 3 games, we produced some of the best football that we've seen at Wolves for God knows how long. But then we just suddenly went back to a different style of play, and we kind of adapted a little bit from last season in terms of we were scoring. It was the fact we didn't even score more than last season, and we didn't really look like scoring, didn't look like creating chances. Normally the goals that we scored were mainly outside of the box, to be honest with you. But we just, we've had so many opportunities, but we just can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net. And to finish 10th is really disappointing, considering, if you look at January and February, we genuinely put ourselves in the race to be in the Champions League. And then to finish 10th, it's just not good. And the signs are not getting any better. It doesn't look like there's any improvements that are coming through with these group of players. We need a massive, massive rebuild in the summer, because for me, players like Wang, you're not going to move forward with a player like Wang. You're not going to move forward with a player like Connor Cody. You're not going to move forward with a player like Willy Bolly. You're not going to move forward with Leander Dendoncker. You're not going to move forward with the current state that Raul Jimenez is in at this moment in time. We just need to absolutely strip it down. Maybe send a couple of players out on loan like Totti Gomez. Give Chiquinho the first team football that he probably deserves, given how he was when he did come in for those couple of games. Again, just the introduction of some of the young players coming in was just too little too late, when you can see they were the ones that were, making the difference and making the impact. But you look at, from the point of January to now, it's disappointing. I'd have snapped your hands off at 10th, don't get me wrong. If you would have said at the start of the season, yeah, I'd take that all day long. But there's still many, many things that needed to be worked on at this football club. And I don't think it's going to be one of them. It's not going to take just next season to fix this. I think it's going to take a couple of years. Whether Bruno's the right man to do it or not, the team still needs a massive rebuild. And, I just don't really know where we go from here. I'd say we need at least 7 or 8. And we need to do our business very, very early to get them that full pre-season bedded in so we can actually see what type of player that they are. But, it's another season done and dusted. Another year of doing fan reviews, which I'm sure many people have, said many positive things, really. I just want to say for everyone that's commented, not just on my stuff, but on everyone else's, just a big thank you, really, for talking Wolves, Dave and Matt, for giving me the opportunity to do it again this year. And who knows what'll happen next year. But, that's me done for another season. And I'll catch you all in a bit.
So, Wolves end their campaign with a spirited 3-1 defeat to Liverpool and a pretty decent performance in fairness. So I thought that, as long as we didn't disgrace ourselves today and actually showed some heart and some character, I would be pleased coming away from the match. And to be honest, that was the case. I think we did pretty well for the most part to actually create chances and also defend and nullify Liverpool's threats as well. Going to the starting 11, agreed with it completely, really. I thought that it was a solid lineup. Jimenez and Neto up front, always good. Midfield three was fine. The back line was good as well. Great to see Totti get another start. I thought he was absolutely excellent today. Pick of the three by far. I know he made a little mistake, he made a big mistake. It could have led to that Liverpool goal had it not been for a huge tackle from Willy Bolly, Ryan Bennett-esque for that one. But apart from that, he was magnificent. Really, really good. Showed good bursts of pace to recover from maybe when we pressed a slightly higher line. Some excellent challenges, blocks, headers as well to get it away. Good in possession as well at times. So, yeah, overall, I thought he was really solid. And I thought Bolly and Cody were okay. Again, they kind of showed their limitations. I thought Bolly put some excellent blocks in and so did Cody. But I think our defending for all three of the goals were a little bit poor, really. I think that they were... maybe not the second, but I thought that overall we could have defended them better, especially the first one. Just, again, poor line, and I think Jose Sarr could probably save it. So, yeah, a little bit of a disappointment there, and obviously that costs us 4.4 million as well in the Premier League places, finishing 10th. But I thought we played really, really well. Neto, I mean, the goal, first of all, 3 minutes in, I was going absolutely mental. Really, really good bit of play. Fantastic play from Jimenez. Great run and ball across. And a good finish by Neto as well. And we could have had more, really. Dendoncker could have scored. Hwang, when he came on, was absolutely atrocious. Again, he had a few chances to score. Had a one-on-one with Alisson. To be fair, it was a good save from Alisson. And then another chance in the second half on the break when obviously Jimenez slightly overhit his ball. And then Hwang couldn't even keep it in the end. Really disappointing, to be honest. Neto was so good in the opening 20 minutes, half an hour. And then as soon as he came off, for Hwang, everything kind of just went downhill, to be honest. Not to say that it was just Hwang, but I think that the loss of the outlet of Neto more so was a huge loss. And it kind of limited us a little bit more going forward. But I thought, in fairness, the midfield were excellent, really combative. I thought Dendoncker, Neves and Moutinho were all effective. Neves in particular was absolutely brilliant. I mean, what a way to sign off. It's been an absolute delight watching him for the past 5 years, and he's been here a lot longer than we expected him to be. And he really topped it off with a pure prime Neves performance, winning the ball back, pinging balls left, right and centre. Could have got a couple of second assists or assists today if we'd have been a bit more clinical. He was brilliant. Moutinho showed energy, so did Dendoncker. And that was what allowed us to be able to counter and win the ball back and attack quickly in transition, which we haven't done a lot this season. But again, wasteful finishing. And my big frustration today was Hwang. I've said it before, I don't like piling on a player, but he's absolutely got to be one of the worst signings of the Fosun era. I likened him to our Premier League equivalent of Leon Clark, which I think is a little bit harsh, if I'm being honest. But he was just absolutely useless today. Every time the ball was played into the channels for him, he'd either slip over or he just couldn't beat anyone in a foot race. His passing was poor. His movement was probably the best thing. That he was getting into some decent positions, but his finishing again, the couple of times he was just bang average again. Really, really, really poor. And his ball control and his dribbling and everything, he offers absolutely nothing. And when you've got Chiquinho, Pedence, Trincao on the bench, Fabio Silva, you've really got to wonder why Bruno Lage has decided to put on an out of form Hwang, who hasn't played well since November, really. Over some of the players that we had that would have offered him more of an outlet, really. I thought Pedence would have been a much better choice. Him and Jimenez have a good combination. And him and Fabio as well. Pedence and Fabio had that whole thing at the start of the season as well. So, yeah. Disappointing, really, with the substitutes and disappointing defending, I think, for the goals. But look, it's a Liverpool team that only just, obviously, missed out on the Premier League with that unbelievable comeback from City. So, to go into this game 3-1, not disgrace ourselves whatsoever. We haven't spent a lot of money this season and we've had a top 10 finish. So overall, I think you could probably say it's an okay season. I think the disappointment comes is where we were in January, February time, and where we've ended up. I think that obviously we need a big rebuild now. Half of this team I don't think we'll ever see again. We already know that Marcel's leaving and Gibbs White will be coming in, so hopefully that's a switch to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 on the horizon for us. But yeah, a decent way, not the best way to end off the season with a defeat, but a spirited display against an incredibly good team, one of the best teams in Premier League history for sure. And overall, I think that there's still reason to be hopeful for next season. We've got some good young players coming through. Just really need a rebuild. Massive summer. Huge summer. Got to get it right. And who knows who's going to be at the helm, if it's going to be Bruno or someone else. But yeah, not too bad to end the season off with a competitive display. 10th place. It's all right, but I would have wanted higher.
Well, here ends Wolves' season for another year. In terms of the game, I would have to say actually we played quite well. To be honest, we caused them several problems on the counter-attack. The long balls actually worked quite well for once. Dendoncker really was actually a pretty good transition midfielder. Well, I think our midfield was actually quite class on the day, really, when you think about it. Unfortunately, our attack in the game was pretty much nullified immediately after Pedro Neto went off and was replaced, unfortunately, by Hee-Chan Hwang, who I am very upset with the business that we've decided to sell him on a permanent basis. He frustrates me in a lot of ways. He's can't trap the ball, very bad control, seems to panic in vital moments, which is quite unlike him when he first came this season. And he was a calm and composed finisher when we really needed it, but that seems to have gone now. Totti is a fantastic prospect in defence, I have to say. I think he played pretty well. He made a slight slip, an error to allow Salah through, but Body had a great slide tackle to prevent that one going in. Good to see, however, that Neto and Jose Sarr don't seem to have too catastrophic an injury, but it is another season that's been laid to rest. I am disappointed with the second half of the season. We've all seen the stats that show that we are bottom 3, 4, 5 in the league in terms of a lot of statistics. And there's no other thing that we can really do but look at ourselves in the mirror and look at the coaching staff. Substitutions, the way the team is set up on multiple occasions, the fight, the desire that's no longer there, and then after the game, Pedent's liking tweets on social media that say that he is pretty much out the door, and Neves probably leaving in the summer as well. That has been hinted at. We are in a serious position where we need to rebuild half the team, because there are a lot of teams around us that are improving. Leicester had a strong end to the season after they were knocked out of their European conquest. West Ham, after they were knocked out of the Europa League, were also very good. Brighton, constantly improving. Graham Potter's doing a wonderful job there. So unless we make significant additions, and Villa obviously confirming Boubacar Kamara as well, which is a long-term target of ours, we're going to have to make serious improvements in the summer to even compete with these clubs. Otherwise, we are going to find ourselves in the bottom half of the table next year. So I wish good luck to Bruno Lage, and I hope we get some investment, because he needs to stay. He needs to build his own team and his own squad. I'm still Bruno in, even though some might not be. I still think he deserves a chance with his own philosophy and players and stuff like that. So thank you, Wolves. See you next season.